me is the one and only Jeff Goodman. It's a pretty slow slate tonight. So we will talk a little bit about what happened tonight.
There's a lot of good games, a lot of big games.
Some bangers. We have Boston College and Miami closing out a season that I don't think either of them want to play anymore. We have something else I can't even remember what it is.
Georgia Tech Wake.
Yeah, we got some good
big matchup between the Face Shield and Steve Forbes.
Yeah, and we got some mid-major action. I'm actually excited. I haven't really had a chance to sit down and just watch some of the mid-major conference games. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit excited to be able to not have to worry about watching a high major thing. So I could just kind of at 7:00 tonight, I can watch Florida Gulf Coast and North Alabama. Or Jacksonville.
Watch Jacksonville State and Belmont. That's the game you want to watch, like a Jacksonville State Belmont game. So
these random small conference games and just watch them. It's I haven't had a chance to really do that much this year, so I am excited about doing that. Before we go anywhere else, I do think that we should at least mention the fact that Greg McDermott was suspended by Creighton. It's something that I am, truth be told. And I mentioned this on the stream the other day. I'm surprised that it took this long to get there. I was surprised that he was allowed to coach on when they play on Wednesday. I just think that. So here's my understanding of the situation: is that not everyone in that locker room feels as aggrieved as others do. It's a little bit split. But the problem is that based off of what he said, one person feeling that way is a major problem because of the connotations that it has, because of the I don't want to say comparisons, but the way that it looks when you have a white head coach is making all of these millions of dollars off of the labor of black players that are getting a scholarship and aren't able to profit off it at all. So I am not surprised that he was suspended. I'm actually surprised that it took this long. And we can see where we'll end up going from here. But I've said all along, I think that comment is more or less the beginning of the end for Greg McDermott's career. I don't know how you can recruit at this point. I don't know how you can do that. So
all I'll say to that is, yes, obviously it's going to have an impact with recruiting, no doubt. But nobody thought that Sean Miller, Bruce Pearl, Andy Enfield, any of those guys would be able to recruit amid a federal investigation, Rob. I know it's different. I get it. It's different. All I'm telling you is he'd still be able to recruit and get players because you're at Creighton. You're in the Big East. It's a national brand now, so he would still be able to get players. Maybe he can't get as high profile of players, and it's not like they're getting, top 50 players all over the place anyway. So I disagree with that statement, but I agree with the fact that they should have suspended him and he should have been suspended for the Villanova game. And then we wouldn't be in this place, I don't think. Maybe we still would because we don't know how some of the players in that locker room, some of the parents of those players feel ultimately. But I think that the right thing to do was probably to suspend him for the Villanova game. And then maybe you would be able to talk this thing through and try to figure out a resolution. But I think the players, like I said the other day, the players, honestly, they were trying to balance their careers and try to finish out the right way without distractions. And they thought they could do that. And obviously they can't.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I'd say is that they are getting a lot of high-level recruits. I mean, Washington, Mason Miller is committed for next year. Their 2020 class, I'm just looking at it right now, had a top 75 kid. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. The Reti Andronikashli.
Wasn't he the one? I feel like they had two international kids in their team this year. Both got hurt. That's the thing you got to look at.
Was one like Kalkbrenner. They've gotten some
sure
high level prospects. Mitch Ballack was a top 50 guy that I believe picked them over Creighton, unless I'm mistaken there. So or over Kansas. So I do think that Tyshawn Alexander was a top 50 kid.
Yeah.
So they are getting players. And the last thing I just want to say is this. The guy that I think I feel the worst for in all of this is Terrence Rencher. And the reason I say that is because I think that he's been put in an impossible position. Because from my understanding, like there is a lot of pressure on him from the black coaches in the community that are kind of saying like, you need to make a stand, you need to stand up. This is an inflection point for us. You need to make a push. Whereas he feels, I don't know if like a certain level of loyalty to Greg McDermott is the right way to phrase it, but that's a guy that he's worked for a while and he has a relationship. And at the same time, he's getting pressure from white coaches that are saying he did not go to bat enough and did not protect McDermott enough in the statement that he put out. So like that dude who just wants to do his job and help these kids get better and make sure that the players in his locker room that are going through something right now are okay. He's dealing with all of that nonsense on the outside. So that's the dude I feel the worst for in all of this. Like that's just an impossible situation for him to be.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, what else? Anything else last night? Anything else?
I mean, Baylor looks like they're back. That was a pretty impressive win over.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think everybody's back on that team full, but like Jerry Butler looked like Jerry Butler last night, and for the most part, they look pretty good. So yeah, I would agree. I would agree with you there. Texas, big win at Oklahoma, big win. As I told you, what I've talked to you about this lately, that I feel like Texas getting their kind of mojo back. They're sneaky. They're sneaky for the Final Four. They really are, because again, they've got all the pieces, all the talent. Matt Coleman played like garbage last night, and they still beat Oklahoma in Norman. So I'm not saying like I got to see their draw, obviously, but I think they're a team that don't discount them making a run, deep run in the NCAA tournament, depending on matchups.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that. I worry that Texas is one of those teams I feel like can just throw up stinkers at any point. There's like it just feels like every time I start to really buy in on them, they go out and they shoot 5 for 30 from 3 at Oklahoma State or something like that. So I mean the talent is not the issue on that roster. The talent is absolutely there. And the way like the way that they're made up, I think, is something that's really important to mention too. Like they have 3 really good veteran guards. They have 2 bigs that can space the floor and protect the rim and play on the perimeter. They have a 5 in Jericho Sims, who's one of the best defensive players in college basketball this year. They have everything outside of like a 6'6" 3-and-D wing. They basically have everything that you need. And when it comes down to it, if you look at the other top teams in the country, outside of like Michigan, Gonzaga is a team that will play 3. They're not really little guards, but they're all like 6'4", 6'5", which isn't that much bigger than what Texas has. If you look at Baylor, most of their best lineups have like 3 6'4", 6'3" guards in it. So it's not like they're going to be overwhelmed by some of the best teams in the country. So I'm with you. I like Texas. Michigan bounce back, pretty impressive.
So what do you think now for Michigan State? Let's say they lose on Sunday to Michigan again, because I don't see them winning that game. Does Michigan State, let's just project, we don't know all the other moving parts, but let's say they make a run, or do you feel like they have to get to the Big Ten title game to get in the NCAA tournament if they lose to Michigan Sunday?
I don't think you have to get to the Big Ten title game, because depending on how exactly the bracket shakes out, there should be enough wins for them.
Yep.
In the interim.
Good wins. Yeah. Good wins.
But I think if they beat Michigan, then I think that they give themselves a ton of breathing room, and I would say odds are really, really good that they get in. If they don't beat Michigan, like we're sitting in a situation where they're 4-10 against quadrant 1 opponents, and that's not a good place to be in when you're 14-12 overall. They don't really have any bad losses. At Northwestern is not pretty. At Minnesota just keeps looking worse and worse and worse and worse. But I do think it's worth noting at the time that like Northwestern was, and like those were when those losses came. Northwestern and Minnesota looked like they were top 5 teams.
Right. So, yeah, that's the problem now. Right. It looked a lot better than it is right now.
Yeah, but it's also worth noting that after they play with Michigan again, they will have played one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 games against teams that rank in the top 10 in the net. That is a lot of games against really good teams, and they won 2 of them. If they beat Michigan and you go 3-4 against teams in the top 10 in the net, you're 5-9 in quad 1 games. You're 15-11 overall in a ridiculous league. You have an 8-11. A 9-11 mark against the top 2 quadrants with 3 wins over top 10 teams. Like, to me, that's got to get you in the tournament.
Here's the problem. So likely they will be the 9 seed right now. Okay, likely. I guess it could be 10. They could be 10. I don't know what Indiana. Yeah, I think they'll be 9. So if they're 9, they open with Rutgers most likely, or Maryland in the first round. But then you know who they get next? Michigan.
Yeah.
Again, the number 1 seed. So to me, you have to beat Michigan once in order to get in the NCAA tournament. That's probably what it's going to come down to for Michigan State. You have to beat them. If you're going to play them twice here, potentially, you have to knock them off once.
Yeah, you can't get swept now with what you have on your resume. Yep, that's right. I agree. All right. So what else do we have from last night? We talked a little bit about Oklahoma State. We talked about Texas, Oklahoma.
I mean, I think we got to talk about the fact that I just want to give a quick shout out to Ryan Daly, and St. Joe's did lose a game finally, and his career is now over. One of my favorite players. They got blown out. Against,
what you got to say, you got to make sure whenever you say that, you got to make sure that you got to get the out.
You're right.
You got to get the out in there.
I got it there. I remembered. They got blown out against UMass early and often yesterday. It was ugly, but and then what else? I think Austin Peay's done. My top 50 preseason pick of Let's Go P. I think I was just so excited to have Austin Peay be good again that I could say Let's Go P over and over and over, that I put him in the preseason top 50. It wasn't very objective.
Well, the other part of it is like they had 2 great players, but I don't think your process was wrong for saying that they have a chance to be really good. But
Jordan Adams was hurt. He was hurt all year. That's part of it too.
Yeah. By the way, like I did not realize the score of that UMass St. Joe's game,
God.
But the final score was 100-66.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
Perfect example of good man, bad info right there.
Good man, bad info actually did well yesterday. So I don't want to hear it. I did well. Another good day. Another good day for me. What else? What else we got? I'm reading some of the Fire Mike Bray chants. Yeah, we can go a little bit into that before we take a few picks tonight. Notre Dame's been awful the last few years. Mediocre to awful every year. The end is coming for Mike Bray, but I would like to see him go out on his own terms if he's ready to go out this year. And I think that'll happen, where he'll have a meeting with Jack Swarbrick, their AD. And if Bray decides, like, all right, you know what? I'd rather be on the beach drinking Coors Lights, then I'm going to go. And we'll get somebody else in. You know, it's the beauty of Mike Bray is he's so realistic and so in tune with everything that's going on. And I don't think he wants this Notre Dame program to be irrelevant as much as the Notre Dame fans do. So, you know, I think ultimately, yeah, he signed a contract extension, but again, that's something that it's all about the buyout. The contract, the date of the contract extensions don't mean anything if the buyout is low. Like a lot of them, some of them have fully guaranteed contracts. Some of them don't. So like, you know, Richard Pitino, if Minnesota was to part ways with Richard Pitino right now, it's $1.75 million. So they could easily do it. And I'm told, according to my sources, that's the direction they're going to go in all likelihood, unless something crazy happens here in the next week or so with Minnesota making some nutty run. Mark Coyle's going to make a move on Richard Pitino. So ultimately, getting back to Mike Bray, and I don't know how you feel on this, Rob. If he wants to coach another year for everything he's done for that program, you let him coach one more year and go out the way he wants to go out.
Yeah, especially because he has a whole bunch of veterans that are coming back for their final season. And those are the years that Mike Bray tends to be best. But I don't know if I'm seeing it this year. I don't know if I'm seeing it or next year. Out of
It's
this
also a pandemic. It's also like we forget it's a crazy year. Like I talked to an NBA player yesterday, and he said he's like, this year is so much worse than last season. Not even close. I just feel like we don't talk about that enough. And I'm not making excuses for every coach here, but I do feel like it just made it so much more difficult this year for these guys.
I've said all along that I don't think that you should be fired strictly for the performance that your team has this season. If you are in a position like Jim Christian, or in a position of someone where we all thought that you were going to be gone last year and you kept your job because the season got cut short and schools didn't have very much money and it was wrong to put people out of a job in the middle of a pandemic, then yes, like that's okay. We can have a conversation there. But for the most part, I don't think that people should be fired.
If Mike Brey wants to go this year, let him go. If he doesn't, bring him back for one more year, see how they do next season, and let him go out the way he wants to go out in a normal season, with his final game being something where he can be cheered, not booed by the fans. How's that?
Yeah,
that's easy enough.
I'm with you.
He deserves it.
So, do you know? Did you watch any of the Iowa-Nebraska game? Maybe someone in the chat can help us out.
I did not.
Why did CJ Frederick only play 8 minutes last night?
I think he got hurt again. I think he got hurt.
Yeah, did he re-aggravate that injury?
I think so.
He fell to the court after committing a foul with 5:35 left in the first half, grabbed his right ankle, and after being helped up, limped off the court, did not play the rest of the game.
Yeah. No,
he said he is a little bit sore. We'll see how he is tomorrow. It's just one thing after the other for him this year, and he's a guy that we've talked about over and over how important he is to that team for a variety of reasons. Among them, he never makes a bad decision. So yeah, they're going to need him healthy. I almost feel like if you're them, you shut him down until the NCAA tournament. Give him here these next 2 weeks. Their first game will be 2 weeks from today. Yep.
Okay, in the NCAA tournament. Give him the 2 weeks. Just give him those 2 weeks. Don't play him at all and try to get him healthy, because without him, you're not making a deep run.
Yeah, it changes a lot if he's not there. Changes a lot.
All right, what do you got for tonight? What do you got? What do you got in the big Morgan State, Delaware State game?
How could you ever fade Morgan State? How do you fade Morgan State? You can't fade Morgan State.
Listen, we're going to start here. The first game is an 11 a.m. game between Duquesne and St. Bonaventure. You have to do it. That should be the rule from now on for the rest of the season, Rob. The first game of the day, we gotta pick. You have to pick it one way or the other. Okay. We have 31 days left until the national title game. We want to have games every single day, although we might do some NIT action if there is an NIT. I'm not sure how many teams are going to go to Dallas without masks for an irrelevant tournament, the NIT. I think you'll see a lot of teams opting out of that one. But Duquesne, St. Bonaventure, the Bonnies are in as of now. They are absolutely in the field as of today. But if they lose to Duquesne, they're going to put themselves a step back, and then you're going to have to make sure some stuff doesn't happen. This is a big game for the Bonnies. Keith Dambrot coming off a big win yesterday against Richmond. Bonnies are given 7.5. What do you like, Rob?
I like the Bonnies here. I think Duquesne kind of relies on creating mismatches, and because they can't really shoot, so they want to be able to drive, and I don't think that they'll be able to do that against Mark Schmidt's defense. They kind of they'll mix it up. They'll pack it in a little bit. They'll play a little bit of matchup zone. And while I think that Keith Dambrot, not Keith Dambrot, it's Keith Dambrot, right? Are you?
No, it's Keith Dambrot.
Brot.
Oh my God! What the hell is this?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Either way, I like the Bonnies.
I've called him Keith Dambrot since he was a high school coach for LeBron James. So if I've gotten it wrong, I've gotten it wrong for a long, long time, and probably gotten it wrong to his face. And he never corrected me.
I'm going to Google it and see.
I don't know. One of us is going to look like an idiot here, and I hope it's not me. You try to figure it out while I'm going to talk about the rest of the A-10 slate.
Keep going.
UMass, St. Louis. That's another one. Again, St. Louis has to have this. They're so talented. They're the most talented team in the A-10, period. And can they make a run now that they had like that month-long pause? UMass coming off a big win. But I like St. Louis. I don't know if they're going to cover the 8, but, man, I like them to win this game. I wish it was closer to like 6. But I'm still going to take St. Louis and the Billikens here because they're talented. And man, if they get in the NCAA, they can win the A-10 tournament. Not easy, but they can win it. They could win it. How's that?
Yeah, they could definitely win it. Yeah, I'm with you there. The thing about UMass is they do have some talent on that roster.
Yeah.
And it just feels like this is the kind of game where St. Louis just kind of like, I don't know, man. I want to be in on St. Louis, and I haven't been able to do it all year. Every time I bet on them, they've ended up losing.
Did you find out if it's Danbro or Danbrot yet?
No, I got distracted because Joe started talking about Western Kentucky. So
I know. Focus. Find out. Is it Danbrot or Danbro? I'm like 99% sure it's Danbrot. But Dayton VCU, another good, interesting A-10 game with bubble implications because VCU, like St. Bonnie, is probably in a similar spot. They're probably both like 10, 11 seeds right now. I think Bonnie's I got as a 10. VCU I got as an 11 right now. So, again, VCU needs this one. Probably more than the Bonnies. So, and Dayton's been pretty bad this year, but they got a dude who can – listen, Jalen Crutcher could will him to a win here. Easy.
Yeah, he struggled in their 2 matchups. I'm gonna bring it up to make sure I have it in front of me. But he was not very good in their 2 matchups, and Dayton was not very good.
Dom, I bought the bracket from Fathead. It was like $60, but I'm bringing it to Indy. You like it? Mid-major man said it's Danbrot, so I assume he's meaning it's like mid-major man. Is it like, am I right or is Dauster right? I assume I'm right because Dauster has no fucking clue.
Yeah, don't hey, look. He looks like he could be French, right? And Danbro is.
You just turned Danbro into a Frenchman. Like he does not
be French.
Danbrot is like. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Well, I was just gonna say that Dayton lost their the 2 games against VCU this year by a combined 32 points, and Jalen Crutcher in those games was 3 for 11 from the floor in the second one, and he was 2 for 7 from the floor in the first game. He had a combined 12 points in those 2 games. The one thing that Mike Rhodes is really good at is kind of taking away your best player. And if you take away Dayton's best player, they don't really have anything, which is why whether or not Bones Highland plays, I really like VCU in the spot. So, I will be on VCU here.
I'm right, by the way. Mid-major man said it. Joe's laughing at you. I mean, this is a complete travesty trying to keep Danbro. I mean,
look, that's the way it looks. It's not my fault. It's like if you pronounce your name Jeff Goodman.
What are you talking about?
It's early.
It's
the end of a long season. So, all right. So, VCU, are you on VCU too?
I'm going with all the favorites in the A-10 today. I'm going Bonnies, Billikens, Rams, and Davidson Wildcats. All 4 of them. Davidson giving 5, VCU giving 4, St. Louis laying 8, and the Bonnies laying 7.5. I'm going to have some A-10 action all day today. How's that, Rob?
Sounds like a plan to me. All right, where are you on? Are we going to get back on Belmont?
I don't know. I need to see if their big boy Nick is healthy or not. I mean, I like it. They're giving 7.5. I kind of like it against Jacksonville State. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, they got a really good point guard and a really good big. The big's been hurt. So I would say, yes, I'll go Belmont there. I'll lay the 7.5. I also like Indiana State in the Missouri Valley. quarterfinals against Evansville, laying 5.5. My boy Greg Lansing coaching for his he's going to be gone. So he's kind of coaching for another job if he can somehow, win the Missouri Valley, which is, I don't want to say completely open, but it's like Loyola, and now Drake's not Drake anymore. Let's be honest. They're not Drake anymore with 2 starters down. So it's kind of a wide open tournament that we'll see if somebody can steal a bid there.
Well, I would disagree that it's wide open.
Loyola is that much better. They are, but
Loyola is still there. Loyola is still in the conference.
No, they are, but they're playing for a seed. They're already in the tournament, so they're playing for a seed.
Here's what I would say is I'm actually really interested in that Jacksonville State line. And look, I know that the first time that they played was a day when Jacksonville State shot. Well, they were like 15 for 30 from 3, and Belmont might as well have been 0 for a million. I don't know what the exact number was. So I know that happened, and obviously it kind of has to do. You got to take into account the big fella, Nick. I think what do they call him?
Musiski or something, right? Musiski.
But Ray Harper is like the most underrated coach in the country when it comes to winning tournaments, right? He won the 2012 automatic bid out of the Sun Belt with Western Kentucky as a 7 seed. He did it as a 5 seed in 2013. He won the 2017 OVC title with Jacksonville State. If you look back to what he did, like the Division II and NAIA ranks, he won one. He made it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight Division II national title games with Kentucky Wesleyan, and he won 2 of them. When he was the Oklahoma City Stars, which is an NAIA program, he won back-to-back national titles and also made it to a national title game. 3 years, 3 title games, 2 championships. So he is a guy who understands how to coach in these one-game settings and understands how to coach in positions like this. And I believe it was it last year when they knocked off Belmont in the tournament? There was one year when Jacksonville State knocked off Belmont in the tournament. It was like Ray Harper threw this random 1-3-1 zone at Belmont. So
I don't know, but mid-major Matt's got us a little tip. Morgan State coming off a COVID pause, playing Delaware State. I don't know if Delaware State's played either, though. I think they both were on a COVID pause for a while. So I'm not sure how much I love that one. No, they played. Delaware State played a few games. I don't know, man. I just don't know enough about Delaware State, to be honest. I'm not going to lie to you.
Delaware State ranks 353rd in the country on Palm adjusted efficiency ratings.
Can't do it.
They are 2-15 this season.
I like Western Kentucky. I think
Delaware State is 2-15 on the season.
Yeah.
I want to know if you can tell me who they beat without looking.
Probably a non-D1.
So they beat St. Mary's of Maryland, which I believe is a Division III program.
Yeah.
And they beat Lancaster Bible.
Oh my God.
Those are their 2 wins in the season.
Wow. Two big wins. 2 big wins for Delaware State and Eric Skeeters.
Yeah.
Skeeters,
so that's why I would. I can't do it.
Western Kentucky.
I cannot do it there.
Rob, Western Kentucky giving 7.5 to Old Dominion. Western Kentucky has to have this game. They can't falter. I mean, they think they still have a shot in at large. I don't think they have any shot, but ultimately they got to win this game if they're to even put themselves in any equation. So do you like it, or are you staying away? I'd probably stay away.
I mean, they need to get it.
But do they? In actuality, it doesn't matter. They're not going to be an at-large anyway. This game is completely irrelevant to them. It's a regular season game against Old Dominion. Doesn't matter. Let
me bring up their profile real quick, because I don't think that they're completely out of the running.
I mean, they're not completely. They're like 10 teams back. They're not going to be able to catch 10 teams in the Conference USA tournament. They're not beating anybody. So they can't make up ground. Which
is why they played the Houston game.
Right, and they didn't win it. If they beat Houston,
I just haven't looked at their profile in a while.
It's not enough. It's not enough. Trust me, it's not enough. But they may, in their minds, Rick Stansbury may be telling them that they're still an at-large team and they need to win this game. So I don't know. I don't love it. The ones that I would probably take Miami today against BC, given 3.5.
Which team has quit the most?
Right. That's what it comes down to. The only thing I worry about is like Miami's players. Like at this point in the season, are you like, shit, we've been testing every day. We can't go out. Like at some point, are they just like, fuck it, we're going to South Beach tonight?
Yeah. I mean, that's
right?
what they're probably looking forward to. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I'd be like, right. I'd be like, I want this season over. We're gonna tank the first game of the ACC tournament, whatever it is, the 10. They have like that first day where like 10 plays 14 and 11 play, whatever it is. 2 garbage matchups. If I'm Miami, I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to extend this year. I want to go out tonight.
All right, so let's go through our picks. Just I've been scatterbrained for this entire.
Yeah, you are scatterbrained. You are
all over the place.
Yeah, no surprise.
Mine is Dambrot.
You screwed up Keith Dambrot's name. I mean, this is going to deserve.
No one's ever said that. I've called him Dambro for like forever.
I would like you to apologize publicly right now. I would like you to apologize to Keith Dambrot.
I'm not apologizing.
Apologize.
He doesn't know who I am.
This is bullshit.
I got the Bonnies laying 7.5 at Bet Rivers. You're taking St. Louis, right? You're on St. Louis?
St. Bonnie's, St. Louis, VCU, and Davidson. All 4.
So I have the Bonnies, I have VCU, and there were 2 other games that I liked. I can't remember what I said now.
I have no idea. Belmont, you kind of liked?
No, I like Jacksonville State. I like Jacksonville State.
You can make yourself
I'm going to wait until we find out if
Wazinski
is playing or not.
Okay.
If he's not playing, then I really like Jacksonville State there.
What else? What else you like?
There was another one. I don't remember what it was. Those are the 3 that I'm going to go log in on BetSperts right now, and then I'll figure something else out.
All right. I'm also going Pacific, giving 3 against Santa Clara. I kind of like that in the WCC second round. And anything else? Just kind of Indiana State, like that one.
I really cannot believe that they're playing the WCC tournament in Vegas. That just seems like such a bad idea.
Well, Mark Few didn't win. The most surprising thing is that Mark Few didn't win the battle. He is the commissioner of the WCC, and he didn't win that one. He wanted it in Spokane. He wanted like 4 teams to come out to Spokane, I think, and didn't happen. But again, my guess is by the time they get there, they probably fly in like today, after like 4 teams are gone already. And if he's smart, they're staying at some resort that they rented the entire resort out, and not another soul is going to be there. And they're literally just going from there. So charter to resort to arena, back to resort, and that's it.
The only problem is like you're trusting that you're not going to get it from one of these other teams that doesn't have a player doing something.
Well, but they were going to play that anyway. They were going to play in Spokane. So that's, to me, it's more about like the workers that you're going to have to deal with. Like that's talking to coaches. They're more worried about the bus drivers and things of that nature. That's their concern about these conference tournaments, is the workers at the hotels, the bus drivers, people like that. That's their biggest worry.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right.
We're out.
We're here long enough. We're out.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.